Good evening, everybody. This is William K. Murtathon, Witness 1. Excuse me. Welcome to the Friday Night Murtathon. I'm going to let the numbers build up just a little bit more. We got a healthy start here. Got something of breaking news. Something broke overnight. Or not exactly overnight. It was actually on the 14th, and it was in the news. And so I thought I would talk about that. And I'm going to wait and see if we get a few more people so people aren't missing out. Now, I've been asked to start at 9 p.m. instead of 10. So I'm going to give it a go. Usually a lot of people don't start showing up until 10. But since I've had a couple people request 9 o'clock, and this is a relatively small channel to begin with, and alright, I gotta figure out why I'm off screen here. I try not to block Woofy, but we're getting. Whoop. Boy, the only problem I have here is I have such a bad lag that it's hard to get me in the picture. But I'll go with what I got. I think part of the problem is I've got. Let me bring this over. I may have this. Yeah, that's what it is. I've got the page that I use for monitoring the stream just a little bit too narrow. It made me look like I was off screen. Good evening, Linda. Yeah, I'm not sure geographically where all my people are at. Some might be in Midwest and West Coast, and I've got some people over in Europe that say that the later start is better for them because of the time difference, but I don't know. I try to create a balance here because I know the East Coasters, it's late, they want to get things done and stuff like that. But the beauty of the Murtathons is you don't have to stay through the whole show. If you got something you need to do, then you take off when you please. And the show is always recorded so you can watch it. Now, while I'm at the beginning here, I'm sure some of you saw the video I made earlier today, and I'm going to repeat it again. I'm through talking about a certain individual by name, and I'm through talking about the individual for the most part, period. It's getting to the point where we're beating a dead horse with this guy. I've talked about him for quite a long time. I repeat it over and over again. The criminal actions that he has taken, what he may face federally, and so on and so forth. And for the most part, people understand that. But we're getting an increase of trolls coming in and disrupting the channel. They're making comments, basically spreading his propaganda. They're coming into the chat and trolling us in the chat. That's going to end tonight. Basically, we're going to have an open chat, but we're not going to get into that individual, at least by name. Now, if somebody makes a video like Dodger and it's funny, I will put the link in here, but that's as far as I'm going to go with it. And people that put favorable comments about the individual in my channel will find their comments taken down. May not be immediate, but when I see them, they're gone. And if they come into the chat and disrupt the chat, they will be removed. Simple as that. Alright, now that I got that out of the way, the breaking news is a woman from Denver, Colorado that got herself into a little bit of a pickle. She decided that she was going to trust a certain quote-unquote legal advisor from Florida, and I guess it's the state of Idaho, and she was going to defy the state of Colorado and take her child that was under dispute and take a sightseeing tour of the United States. And in the process, she went down to Florida, met the legal person, talked to our friend Phil McConnell up in Wisconsin, went over to Arkansas, paid a little visit over there, and somewhere in the mix, I guess she was in Virginia as well, but, she managed to run around the country and meet a lot of people. And then she proceeded to go to the Northwest. Now, our daughter didn't think too much of her actions, so she went and told her caseworker at CPS, who in turn called the cops. Cynthia Absug, the lady in question, was pulled over and she was hauled off to jail. And after waiving extradition, she was sent back to Colorado and she wound up back in jail. Well, it turns out that Ms. Absug doesn't believe that the coronavirus is a real thing. And so she, alright, I'm trying to find the video here, so I'm sorry about the distraction. So she went on and said that the coronavirus is a big virus, it's a big fraud, and, she followed the coronavirus is a big hoax threads that have been going on in the conspiracy theorists. And then, guess what happens today? Well, a news report popped up. And the news report said that Ms. Absug wants to get a jail out of free card, or at least go into some kind of house arrest, because of the coronavirus. All of a sudden, she's become a believer and she wants out. Well, let me cue this up because I want to make sure there's an ad on here, and I don't think I should be advertising, so let's see what happens. Here, as soon as I skip the ad, I'm going to start this. Right now, I'm waiting for the ad to run through. Because this is off a local TV station up in Colorado.
Parker police say a far-right conspiracy
I may have clipped this broadcast.
Kidnapping in Douglas County. Investigators say that she believed her child had been taken by a satanic pedophilia ring of Democrats that is being secretly battled by President Trump.
Sorry about the echo.
Conspiracy theory. Police say her child had actually been removed by Child Protective Services. Cynthia Absug was arrested last week up in Montana on a charge of conspiracy to commit kidnapping. Investigators say a fellow QAnon believer, who she called a sniper, had come to live with her, and that fellow QAnon members were planning this raid to kidnap the child. Absug is currently out on bond. Parker police say QAnon extremists have been identified by the FBI as a domestic terrorism threat. These QAnon believers think that President Trump is fighting a secret war against a satanic global child trafficking ring made up of Democratic politicians and Hollywood stars.
Okay. I'm not sure what caused the echo. I'm going to have to work on that. I thought when I had queued this thing up that I'd eliminated that problem, but apparently not. But anyway, so she's out on bond, and I don't know why she wants to be dismissed from the case if she's out on bond. But the judge denied the motion, so she is still going to go on trial for the coronavirus. And that basically is somewhat breaking news, because I've noticed a couple people have already posted about it on the internet, mainly over on Twitter, and that's basically where we're at there. Now, another thing that's come up, and I didn't have this queued up. Yeah, I went away because I turned off the audio. I don't know why it picked up the echo. I had the mic turned off. I'm going to have to find out what the cause of that was, because it wasn't there before. But anyway, getting back, it turns out that someone has started a GoFundMe for the legal defense of none other than Phil McConnell. Now, there is a problem here. Recently, our conspiracy theory group, by the person I'm not going to mention by name anymore, said that there is no such thing as a law license, that bar attorneys are illegitimate. But there's a problem. Phil McConnell is being represented by a licensed bar attorney. So that's a bit hypocritical. And it's also even more hypocritical for people to be going around doing a GoFundMe for Phil McConnell when there are sovereign lawyers available to do the job and probably would do it for free. One of those is our people from Florida, people from Iowa, or Idaho, whichever state, I can't think it's Idaho, and the retired judge, or whatever the hell she is, from the state of Washington. There's also the Postmaster General of the world, or whatever the hell he is. He could go down there. But, as you see, there is a link by Levi Page, I believe, over on Facebook, and a couple of other places that you can go to report this to GoFundMe. Now, I am under the understanding that GoFundMe does not allow legal defense funds. I could be wrong. I was under the impression, however, that the GoFundMe terms of service state that you shall not conduct fundraise for legal defenses. That's something, I guess, somebody's going to have to go and read the terms of service and find that out. Now, they have mentioned to file a complaint based on fraud, which, I don't know if that, since it is a legal defense fund for Phil McConnell, that could be defined as a genuine use of the money, unless the person running this thing plans on taking a percentage for her efforts or whatever. That's something that remains to be seen. And I screwed that up. Alright, let me put this up and put me back up. And, yeah, I killed Wolfie. Wolfie, come on back. Okay, Wolfie's back and I'm gone. And I'm still gone. Well, shoot. Well, I'm gone, Wolfie killed. Wolfie back, I'm killed. Well, this is going to be weird until I straighten this out. Alright. Okay, well, Wolfie can be the star of the show for a minute. And let's do a quick play. Now I'm back. Twing. Alright, there I am. I'm back. Let's see. Alright, let me do a, let me go over there. Let's see, this is weird. I had this all set. Okay, Wolfie, I'm gonna kill you for a minute. Alright, there I am. And I'll put Wolfie at number 3. Alright, let me kill me for a minute. Put Wolfie at 3. Put me at 1. I love it when I go through preparations and everything works out, and then when I get on the air, it gets all screwed up. Because right now, everything is all screwed up. Because all I did, I wanted to put my little banner in there, and, my hosting banner, and when I did, okay, well, we killed Wolfie, so I gotta try and resuscitate Wolfie. There's Wolfie, now I killed me. Oh, I love this. Playing around with software is so much fun. Alright, Wolfie's back. Wolfie may wind up staying. Trying to figure out what the hell I did here. Well, there I am. And I killed Wolfie again. There's Wolfie that killed me. Oh my god. Well, this is going to be one of these nights. Everything was all fine and good until I started playing around with that banner. Alright. Poor Wolfie, he's having a problem tonight. Alright, Wolfie, let's get you out there. Put you there, put me here. That ain't gonna work. Put me over here. That ain't gonna work. Okay, put Wolfie over here. Put Wolfie here. Put me here. You know, in a minute, I'm just gonna... Well, for now... See, I don't have my previous screen, which is not the best situation in the world. So I guess you're just gonna have to stare at a black wall. Speaking of a legal firm, our friendly neighborhood legal firm just went live. So I guess everybody that wants to watch him can go over there and watch him. But, alright, I'm just going to leave this thing alone for now. I'll figure it out in a little bit. Because I'll use Wolfie as a standby. You know, because if I have to make an away call or something here, I'll do that. Because eventually I'm going to have to get a Pepsi. And I have my Pepsi, so I gotta go haul off and get one of those in a little bit here. So, alright, in the meantime, let me do some exploring here as I'm running into... Let me see what's going on the chat. And not a heck of a lot. Yeah, the echoing came from the having two inputs at the same time. I may not have cut off the mic, I'm not sure, but I thought when I cut off the mic that the echoing wouldn't be there. But that means I'm getting two feeds at the same time, and I got to figure out why I'm getting two feeds. As you can see, I got audio microphone and audio stereo mix, so it may have something to do with that. Dodger, how are we doing tonight? Be sure to let us know when you make your last video, and latest video, I should say. Got to see your videos. And my panel is kind of acting up here, and I'm going to try just one more time. Like Wolfie taking that. Nope. Well, I'm on the beach now, and I'm not on the beach. What a beach. Okay, let me bring up number 2. Nope, that ain't gonna work. Bring up number 1. Not gonna work. Number 3. Gonna work. And number 4. I killed the beach. Yeah. Oh, now I'm over here. This is gonna be one of these nights. Well, number 4. Okay. That'll work. I'll just have to do with that. Then I gotta figure out what... I had this all set up, and then, of course, you go on the air, and it gets all screwed up. Alright. Al Kennedy, welcome. Sharp, if I had, yeah, I know who it was. I didn't really want to mention her name, but now it's out there. She's a loyalist, so she went and she decided she wanted to do a GoFundMe drive. And so, you these people are always begging for money. 3 hours shopping. That sounds like Walmart. You go to Walmart and you buy two things, you're going to be in line for 3 hours, even to use to check your self check. So and you can't until the next couple of days. You can't even walk into a Best Buy, which is where I usually hang out at, because what they do, you order the things and you have to go stand out front while they bring it to you, or else you can have it home delivered, which isn't bad because you save the gas. Because I had a funny thing happen. There was something I needed from Best Buy, and I got online, went to order it, and they said, for at the door pickup, they said, well, we don't have it. The thing will be here in about a week. So I said, well, I'll go online, order it, and have it delivered. So I went online, I ordered it, and they said it'll be there the next day. And sure enough, it showed up the next day by mail. So that was kind of weird. So I got that. And so, basically, I've been spending most of the week trying to get the software problem figured out. I was going to switch out my camera and go from my webcam over to my 4K camera, which is this Panasonic right here, if I can get it in the screen. But this is what I use for live stream, and this is what I'm going to use to cover the case down in Fort Lauderdale when I go down there. And that's the lens covering. You open up and the lens comes on, and you close it, the lens goes on. Doop. And I'm going to put a microphone on it and stuff like that, so I'll be set up for the Fort Lauderdale. Plus I'll be using this camera along with my, I've got GoPros and so on and so forth that I'll be using to do some of my outdoor stuff. Now, my yardathon that I did recently was done on the camera I just showed you, but the problem is I had a lot of wind noise, and that's because there is a built-in microphone on the camera, and it doesn't like wind. Now, I do have a shotgun mic. I have my little Rode mic that I put on my lapel. I'm not using that now. I switched back over to the Blue Yeti because I've been having problems with the Rode. So I'm using the Blue Yeti. They call it the Blue Yeti, and it's a black microphone. Figure that one out. So anyway, so that's where we're at. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a quick break. So you're gonna get this. Everybody can pet Wolfie, because I'm going to go take a quick break, and I'll be right back. Okay, hi Rebecca. Hey, ay. Yeah, I killed Wolfie. I don't know if I can get Wolfie back or not. Because I either kill Wolfie or I kill me. This is the killing season tonight. I don't have to worry about some conspiracy not killing me. I'm doing it all by myself. So, try to get Wolfie back on 4. There's Wolfie. And put me over on 2. Well, I don't know. That's strange. Well, Wolfie, Wolfie needs to go outdoors, so we'll send Wolfie outdoors. And it's really been one of those nights. For some reason, that's the only thing I can't do is transition. I had to set up so that everything was on here before I went on the air, and then I screwed around and I lost Wolfie. Can't go to the beach because I keep losing the beach. Let's see if I can go to the beach. Nope, can't go to the beach. I'll go to the beach over here. There, I'm at the beach. Well, that's half the battle. Now let's see if I can bring back this. Wow, we're in business. How about that? Well, it is for now, unless somebody can come up with a name. I stole that from, if anybody has watched I think it was the second Terminator, that's the name they called the dog to find out if the other Terminator was in the stepmother's kitchen, and so they used the name Wolfie, and of course the mother was dead, so that's where that came from. It's kind of a nice catchy name, and unless somebody can come up with anything different, we'll go with Wolfie. So it's easy for me to remember. When you get my age, you kind of forget things, so I'm going to give myself a little bit of a raise here. I'm a little low and slow. So, up you go. Up you go. There you go. I mean, the problem, if I take away the lower third, I'm probably going to get some stuff I've got in the background because I can see it in the picture. But, you know. Let me see just for the hell of it. Yep. Got my big old Mac sitting on the floor, so that's what we're picking up. I don't use the Mac for webcasting, so well, actually, if you just say hello, everybody, Gray Moon, it's kind of an all-encompassing thing. Well, Wolflock Holmes is a good one too, so we can be Wolfie Wolflock Holmes. Gonna have to work on that one. Wolfie for short, but Wolfie Sherlock Holmes will work just fine. And, you know, that's a pretty good idea. I'd like that. So, Wolflock Holmes actually is pretty good. And then you can still say Wolfie for short because it's, you know, it's just like Mert is short for Murtathon. So, works out. Well, bon appetit, moderate. I hope you're a better cook than I am. I have a habit of burning water. If anybody can burn water, I can. So, let's see. So I'm going to go do a little bit of exploring. I like to keep up on things here. Huh. I'm going to try to fix that. I got to go in a different way. Yeah, I try to name specific when I can when I do my greetings. which is, with a small channel like this, it's easy, because, you know, there's just not that many people right now, so. Yeah. Oh, good Lord. Oh, now we have people pigs. Jesus. Clones. Yeah, the world of the wacky is pretty interesting tonight, but I'm not going to get into that much. You know, I thought the AdSug thing was cute. I mean, the woman goes around saying, "Oh, the coronavirus is a big fraud." So what does she do? She wants out of jail because of coronavirus. Love it. Yeah, we got some decent numbers tonight, and Monty must not be on. Usually when Monty comes on, my numbers go into the toilet. So, what are you going to do? Let's see. Okay, so, yeah, things are calm and peaceful, so I guess we'll just clean out my junk mail while I'm at it. Potato wedges. All right. Oh. In the wrong browser. I like potato wedges. Sit there and deep fry the darn things. It's yummy. Or a lot of times I'm eating potato chips. Unsalted, of course. Well, somebody sent me a Twitter post, and this is something that kind of leaves my head scratching. I'm sure there's people in here that don't trust everything that comes out of the Center for Disease Control. And I asked the question, well, if you don't trust the CDC, who are you going to trust? And he wrote back, that is a great question. I have been asking for months and even years. If one looks at the record of the CDC, you can see the history of a totally backwards thing. Yet that history is out the window, and folks ignore the fact that the government has never been honest. Yet the people trust them. So it goes back to my original question. Who, in this pandemic, who are we going to believe? We're going to believe the World Health Organization? We're going to believe the Center for Disease Control, Dr. Fauci, or who? It's like there's no satisfactory source of information among a lot of people as to who to trust in the pandemic. Now, I've drawn my own conclusions, and, I think the CDC is doing the best it can under the circumstances, and so is WHO. But I'm sure there's going to be people that disagree with me. And that is not so much of a political question as it is a practical one. Because we do have this coronavirus spreading around, and you got to figure out what the hell you're going to do. Are you going to ignore it? Are you going to take the precautions? Or just exactly what are you going to do? But it's going to be an individual decision on all our parts. And if anybody's asking, no, my camera's not, or my chair is not crooked, my camera is. it moved. But rather than sitting here and horse around with it, I was just going to let it go. So if you see the chair kind of veering off to one side, it's the camera. So, but I thought that was kind of an interesting comment that came up on my Twitter. What was that? But they've got people out protesting the shutdown, and people protesting the protesters. So it's a typical day in the world. For the love of God. I'm not going to discuss that one. That'll make everybody mad. Interesting stuff coming out today. But, so much for that. So now I sit here and twiddle my thumbs, try to figure out what the hell to talk about. So, let's fire up the chat, guys. And sit there and talk about 1,000 ways to make wedgie potatoes. I'm going to have a little something to show people tomorrow night on tomorrow's Murtathon. I got sidetracked, so I didn't have time to get it set up, but it's, a piece of equipment that I'm going to be using from time to time on the Murtathon, and I just neglected to get it set up in time, so that'll be on hold until tomorrow. Because I'm not sure what it's going to take to get that thing set up, but we'll see. And just to let people know, I am going to be doing a mobile event towards the end of May. It's going to be on location, it's going to be live, it's going to be mobile. And I will be making an announcement sometime around the 25th of May as to exactly what I'm going to be doing, or at least attempting to do. I'm in the process of getting things set up, and when I get all my ducks in a row, I will let everybody know what's going on. And this will be the 25th of May, and I will be doing a rare Murtathon on that particular day, and I will let everybody know exactly what I'm doing and where. Because it'll be the 25th is going to have the Murtathon here. 26th, there'll be a Murtathon, and it will be on location. And then the 27th is going to be the reason I'm there to begin with. So we're going to see how everything works out. And depending on the corona situation on the 26th, I may do something slightly different with the Murtathon. Because a lot is going to depend on whether or not I reach 1,000 subscribers by the 27th. Because where I'm going to be at, if the restrictions on the coronavirus are lifted, does not have public Wi-Fi. I would have to live stream over my cell phone. So for that particular reason, I would need to get up to over 1,000 subscribers so that I could live stream here. Now I could live stream it over on either my Facebook or my Twitter, but I don't know how many of anybody that tunes in here is from Twitter. I have people that come in here from Twitter that don't go on Facebook. I have people on Facebook that don't go on Twitter. There's people that come in here that don't go on either one. So I got to figure out the best way of doing this. Because unless things change, I'm not going to be able to live stream from the Plan A. Now, Plan B, I can live stream because I will be able to use the Wi-Fi of where I'll be at. So, we are going to play this by ear. So we have, let's see, today is the 15th. We got a little less than 2 weeks to get me up to 1,001 subscribers. And I would like to have a safe cushion in there because you get, you get maybe one person, and you get one person subscribes to unsubscribe. And so it's kind of bouncy to get to the 1,000. Now I may simulcast using 2 different devices so that I simulcast to Twitter and I live stream to here. And the reason for that is because the Wi-Fi I'm going to be using on location may not support multi-streaming because of the bandwidth. So it's a little easier to get on the cell phone, transmit out on the cell phone, and use this for YouTube. And at the remote location, I may or may not be able to do the same thing. That's going to remain to be seen, because I don't know about multi-streaming on a cell phone. Even though I get 5G, I don't know if they have 5G over there. I've got to find that out. And if they do, then I might be able to do a simulcast from to here into Twitter. So, we'll see how that works out. Okay. Everybody sing with me. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Alexandra. Happy birthday to you. And many more. And that's the extent of my singing for tonight. So, a happy birthday to Alex. Okay, what have I missed here? He totally ignored the complaint and might make it more for the plaintiffs who after the ones will have assets. Oh, we have breaking news. There's a lawsuit here. I need details on this lawsuit because I have no idea what you're talking about. That'll give me another lawsuit to cover. Everybody's just filing lawsuits all over the place. Love it. The lawsuit that was filed against Preacher Dan, I haven't heard a thing about yet. And really, I haven't heard much about Preacher Dan, period. Oh, I know what I want to do. To the next... Let's go over to here. See what the latest recommended videos are. You know, it's funny, I was going to switch this camera out because I looked like a pale face, but now the camera's working properly, so I don't need to switch it on. Oh, really? DJL. So you're going after Derek again? Because I'm trying to figure the initials out. Oh, yeah. I don't think I've... Okay, our trusty Dodger has done another video. So I'm going to get the link. Because I did watch the video. It's got copyrighted music, I think, so... I don't want to take a chance with it, so I'm just going to link it in here. Oh. Alright, who are we talking about? Yeah. I was just trying to figure out who the lawsuit is. Yeah, that's what I say. When I saw DJL, that's the first thing that popped in my head. I said, what the hell do you do now? He's basically banished off into the universe somewhere. Yeah, his day in the sun is long since set. I saw a notification up there. Let me bring that back. Oh, that one. Okay, I didn't know you were part of that. Yeah, if he doesn't answer that lawsuit, he loses by default, and they can run in there and clean up his kitchen real quick. Yeah, I believe he got hit with a 10-year or something like that. I'd have to go back and check the court records. Yeah, one thing you guys are going to see tomorrow is I'm finally getting a haircut. I was going to do it today, and I got busy doing stuff. So I guess I will be looking into the Preacher Dan lawsuit. That ought to be interesting, because if Preacher Dan defaults on the lawsuit, that's going to hit all of them, because it's a class action lawsuit in reverse. Technically, it's not a class action lawsuit, but everybody's been named as a defendant in that thing. And if Preacher Dan defaults, then everybody's on the hook. So that ought to be interesting. The case that Alexander's talking about is the lawsuit that was brought against Preacher Dan and several other defendants for defamation by, I believe, Mr. Sawyer. It's a class action suit. There's about 5 people that are doing the suing, and 10 people that are being sued. And Preacher Dan's the only one right now that I know of that's been served. So we got to see how they can see how that goes, because there are named people and there are John and Jane Does on that lawsuit. So it's kind of a equal rights amendment for the ladies. They get themselves to be mentioned on this lawsuit. So I think they're just going to run down through the list. But they can do a default judgment against Preacher Dan, and so that can start off. Okay. Using a monitor as a mirror is not the best thing in the world. I've got kind of a sideways alfalfa here. I'm beginning to look like that dude that sits in his car and steals Wi-Fi. I have this stuff that hangs up over the top and over the side. And of course, down here at the bottom. So got a little remodeling to do tomorrow. If I have time. I'm busier staying here at the house than I am when I'm out in the field. Weird. I just create my own work, I guess. Oh, this ought to be interesting. Yeah, keep me up to date on that one, because I'll report on it. I guess I'm not going to Ohio anytime soon, because I had planned on running up there if there was a trial. Oh well. Save some money there. Yeah, we're having a little bit of a phenomenon down here when it comes to the corona. They're starting to add surcharges. There was something on one of the local Facebook rooms that I follow down here, the one in Apopka, and they somebody went and guess they got something to eat someplace, and they got hit with a $2.20 coronavirus surcharge. And it reminds me back in the days of when I was a truck driver. We used to, because of the way the diesel prices were going all over the map, they used to have fuel surcharges on the shipping rates. And this was in part to compensate both the carrier and the owner-operator for the cost of fuel, diesel fuel, because diesel fuel has a tendency to be more expensive than gas. And when you're buying it, you're buying $30,000-$40,000 worth of diesel fuel every year. It has to compensate the set rates that people charge. So they did the fuel surcharge on trucks, and now it looks like we're doing surcharges because of the coronavirus. I know prices have been going up in the grocery stores. Last time I went shopping, everything's gone up. And, I'm on Social Security, so it's not exactly a comfortable thing to sit there and see prices go up, and your Social Security's kind of sitting there, and you're having to tighten things up more and more and more on your day-to-day bills. And the rent here where I'm at is going up, not going up a lot, but it's going up about $20-some. But we're getting some extra stuff thrown in there that we weren't getting before. They're going to power wash the trailers, and they're going to do things, because the people that own the trailers in here, they used to be obligated. We used to have to mow our lawn. We used to have to power wash our trailers. We used to have to clean out the gutters and all that. And now the park is step by step. They took over doing landscaping. They jacked the rent up to pay for that. Now they're raising the rent again. This is going to pay for TV sets in the clubhouse. They're going to have a poopy park for the dogs and what other animals you might have. And now we're going to have our gutters cleaned, because we have a strange thing happen down here. We have things grow out of our gutters. It rains, the rain traps some dirt down in there, and the next thing you know, we get these weird things crawling out of our gutters. So, okay, that'll work. That way I don't have to keep climbing up that damn ladder every 6 months and cleaning that thing out. Because that ladder's not the steadiest thing in the world. So, yeah, the social distancing things. I've been watching the News Dodger and what they've done. Now here in Florida, we're doing that. It varies. We're going into what they call a phase 1 opening. The restaurants are open. They rearranged their plans to where they don't have as many tables and stuff, and staff have to wear masks, and depending on the location, the people do or don't. So it's kind of weird how they're doing it. Let's see what Alex wrote here. Well, wouldn't that be published at some time, Alex? Because since that's a matter of record, they're eventually going to publish the discovery request in the clerk of the court. And when they do that, then I'll start publishing what, as soon as I get my hands on the court records in that case, I'm going to start publishing it. I've got to go find the link that I had for that case and the case number and all that, so I can start doing research on it. Because things are starting to open up, and that's Ohio court, so that's going to open up, and so now the information will start flowing again through the clerks, and we're going to see, excuse me, we're going to start seeing some of these cases that have been put on hold, such as the McConnell case, start coming through the courts, because the one thing Broward County hasn't done, they haven't even put up the fact that the hearing on May 7th wasn't even held. Their court reports are weeks old. I'm gonna go down to Broward County real quick and see if they did do anything today. Oh, okay, Alex. Well, shoot, yeah, I would have liked to know. But, you know, it's... Because if everybody has to start handing over stuff to the court, you know, maybe they'll get that woman from the state of Washington to come in and offer her brainiac advice. That ought to be a trip. Nothing has been filed in Broward County since the 30th of April. Jeez. And everything's the same. Latest was May 7th, so Broward County is not keeping up with their court reporting. So, hi Daniel, welcome to the chat. So I guess what we're gonna have to do is just sit and wait. They are going to start going full blast on trials starting in mid-June. And so depending on where the McConnell case falls in that order, you know, that's where we'll be at. Let me see. I'm going to see. Wolfie's back. Hi, Wolfie. You know, now I finally get, this is what I was trying to set up right here. And, you know, so now Wolfie's back. Jeez, I'm going to leave this alone. I'm going to start presetting these. I got my Stream Deck, and I'm going to start getting that straightened out so that I just punch a little button here and there on the Stream Deck, and I'm not having to mess with all these controls. And then that way things are running a little bit smoother. You know, I've still got to do a little bit of correcting here, but we're getting there. So D-Wolf is back. He's being obscured by my lower third, but he's back. There's Wolfie. And I'm going to put the lower third back because it's hiding my... not sure what it is that I've got in the background there. It's my file cabinet. So the camera's at kind of a skewed angle. Usually I have the camera so it doesn't look at that. So let me turn this back on. There. The Wolfie's being blocked by a file cabinet, so the poor guy can't win. Yeah. Can't play any wolf calls right now until I get the problem straightened out with this mixer on here, because when I turn the mixer on, I get an echo. He's hungry for the truth. He wants to devour the liars, so he's on the prowl. Said, show me some of them lies and I'll eat them suckers for lunch. So the wolf pack can be on the hunt. Yeah, 794. I think I lost one. So we're getting there, though. One, as best I can. So we're closing in on the 800 mark. We're getting close, and it's doable. If I got enough people to sign up, I could get 800, or I could get 1,000 by the 26th of May. But we'll see what happens, because I'm going to start working on things. You might see me doing some test streams from Twitter, because I'm going to try and iron out equipment requirements for Twitter, and as an alternative, because I don't have that many people on Facebook yet that tune into my live streams. So doing a TriCast is not in the cards right now. And I've got a special room over at Facebook. I'd like to concentrate on live streaming from the room instead of from my Facebook account, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that or not. I was thinking opening up a second account on Facebook just for the desk and have that as the primary page, but that I'd have to work out. Yeah, we got the birthday girl in here today. Good old Alex put another year on the chalk mark there. Climbing that yearly ladder, just like me. It's interesting. I think I've flown on one of them. Actually, I have a doctor's appointment in a week or two, so I'll be going. I don't know what to call him other than stupid. It's like I said, I'm not going to mention him by name, so I'm not going to prohibit negative discussions about him in the chat. It's just the positive stuff that I'm not going to allow. I think that he can send pictures in the mail or something like that. That's the only thing I figure is he can communicate by mail. He just can't communicate over the internet. And I don't know if the court is going to tolerate that, but that's up to them. Hi, Kingfish. Not much. I did a little segment on Cynthia Absug. She's got herself. She decided that she wanted to stay out of jail because of the coronavirus. The only problem is Cynthia has been going around saying that the coronavirus is a big hoax. So that means that the only thing that she's doing is she is using the coronavirus as an excuse to get out of the trouble she's in. She'd be better off turning state's evidence than using a gimmick like the coronavirus to get out of things, because she might cut a break if she turns state's evidence. And I think as things start moving along here, that just might happen. I heard that she's claiming she's got all these super duper big deal lawyers defending her, And the only problem with that is, unless those super dupers are from a law firm based out of Ocala, Florida, she's going to have to come up with a few Benjamins. And she don't have the Benjamins. I believe she's using a public defender at the moment. But we'll see how it works. I'm going to have to do a little catch-up on that case because I haven't been following it that closely. The courts being what they were, nothing was really going to start going forward until June. But now that we've had something pop up with this case, then I'm just going to have to try and see if I can extract some information and just what the heck is going on with that. Because I'll have to go and get some paperwork from the court as to what was filed and so on and so forth. So we'll stay tuned for that one. But that's the extent of that. She's just like everybody else in this crowd, she's showing herself to be a hypocrite. Well, there's always a chance going to a doctor's office you could get infected, and but they do take precautions, and they're probably going to make us take precautions because I've got doctor's appointments. Cheryl's got doctor's appointments, so it's going to be what's going to happen here. Well, Good Vibes cannot talk to Phil McConnell. He's not supposed to have contact with these people. Good Vibes is not a member of the family. The only person that he can talk to is his wife and his legal counsel. And any family members. He cannot talk to anybody that's the third party there, be it Good Vibes or any of the other people. It's just, it's a no-no. So, if it's monitored by the attorney's going to ask, who the hell are you? And when he finds out that Good Vibes is not a member of the immediate family, he's going to say, well, you can't talk to him. And that's the end of it. Yeah, everything's going up, Golden Mare. It's, especially medical stuff. The masks over at Walgreens have gone up. Bleach has gone up. Milk has gone up. Everything's gone up. And it's gone up about 2 to 5%. And when you're on Social Security, that adds up. So I'm probably going to have to quit with the Pepsi because, that's gone up too. It's getting to the point where, Pepsi's running $4 a case. And that's, not going to be able to survive that. So I will be switching over to milk and water. So we'll see how it goes. I don't know if Diane is in contact with Field or not. There hasn't been any news about what her situation is in all this. And basically, there are some states that are starting to lift the moratorium against foreclosures, and now that they're lifting the moratoriums against foreclosures, we might see a situation where the house gets finally foreclosed and things start getting sold. He still has a car collection that is subject to sale and so on and so forth. So I'll have to see how that all goes. Because that's basically what I'm waiting on. I've got people that I broker to that are waiting to find out about these cars. I get a call about once a week asking if the cars are ready for sale or not. And I says, I don't know what the situation is with the car collection right now. That's going to be up to the IRS because they'll be the ones selling the cars. Because he owes a pretty good chunk of money to the IRS. That's the one that's going to get him in the biggest trouble is the IRS. So the house is the least of his problems. Well, hi Levi, welcome to the show. It's just the usual night. It's rather peaceful. We hadn't had any trolls in here yet, so kind of glad of that. Things are running along pretty good at this hour. I know the 10 o'clock people are starting to pop in. Yeah, and it's going to stay that way. A certain individual is no longer going to be discussed by name unless there's any significant legal situations come forward. Yeah, depending on where you are in the country, meat prices have just gone through the ceiling. And I did buy some hamburger. I think it was yesterday or today. And I can't remember what we paid for it. But I think they're putting something in the hamburger because it didn't taste like it was 100% beef. I think they've been adding cornmeal to the beef. I don't know. It was good. It just tasted different. Silverado. Really? Silverado. I get it. That's a truck. The Silverado. They're good trucks. I used to sell them things like mad on the lot. Because Ocala's pickup truck country, and so, my Ocala location, boy, I'd put a pickup truck on the lot, and they're gone. And their Chevrolet Silverado was a pretty popular truck. Levi, you are not a troll. Yeah, you and I, those days are long gone. Angus, yeah, well, Angus is the more expensive anyway, because it's like the Angus steaks, Angus beef, all that. I used to haul a lot of that when I drove refrigerated. There was a place up in Iowa I used to go, and you used to be able to have a steak dinner for free in there while you're waiting on your load. You'd sit there and say, yeah, I'll have a porterhouse, and I'd be sitting there watching my load get killed and put on the truck. Because they go in one end as a cow, come out the other end as swinging beef. That's the first time. I've seen milk processed, I've seen Pepsi processed, and all the other stuff processed, but kind of an experience to sit there and see a future cheeseburger get processed as they walk into the building and come out as a cheeseburger. Alright, let's watch the politics, folks. You guys can talk politics, I'll just sit back and watch. I don't want to get myself in trouble. I decided I'd be politically neutral because about 70 to 90% of the people in here are the opposite politically than I am. So, and believe it or not, the original intent of this channel was going to be political, but I sacrificed it for the conspiracy nut discussions, and now it's basically going to stay away from politics permanently. Yeah, I got my extra vehicle is a Ford Escape, and I just got the battery charged up for it today. I took it up to the local discount store and had it checked to make sure the battery was still good, because the thing's been sitting a year. And they said, yeah, your battery's good. So I said, okay. So over the next few days, I'm going to get a couple gallons of gas, pour in the cart, and see if it runs. And then I'm going to tag it, because I need the trailer hitch. Because I've got one of my future live streams, I got to take the motorcycle up, get it fixed. Now, just routine maintenance, get the clutch adjusted, because it's hard to drive the way the clutch is on it right now, and get the oil changed, get the clutch done, get a couple things done to it. And then I'll be able to do a biker-thon. So that'll be coming up. I don't know if I'll be able to live stream on it, but I'll be able to record my rides and then put them up on YouTube when I'm done with the ride. It's hard to say. I may try and do a live stream while I'm riding the motorcycle, as that's rarely done. Usually these guys, when they do these videos on YouTube and they're running around on their bikes, they record them and then process them and put them up on YouTube. But I'm going to be one of the few that does it live. I know there are guys that will do live streams on their motorcycle, but it's fairly rare. So I'm going to start doing it, because I got the motorcycle. I'm going to do live streams on the motorcycle. I'm going to do live streams on my Townie, which is a bicycle, kind of an interesting looking bicycle. And then I've also got one of those gas powered bicycles that I picked up. And just to be a little different. So I'll be doing, and of course there's the Murtathon. Eventually I'll be going out in the boat, which is why I need the escape, so I can go out in the boat and do Murtathons. And I'm in the process of horse trading for one of those things. Just something that'll go out on the water and do boat stuff. Oh, really? Yeah, I got a motorcycle that's a Yamaha Classic. And I'll be, I call it the Purple Passion, because the damn thing's a purple motorcycle. So let me get out of here. I don't know why I thought Astro would quit. Boy, she had to be super mad at me to be after me now. Because the last I knew, I was blocked. So let's go. I gotta check this one out. Now she closed it back up again. Because it's showing protected here. So that didn't last very long. Yeah, that was something that I had planned on doing a long time ago, but the funds dried up, so I wasn't able to get a boat. But I do a lot of swapping around and stuff like that, and so I'm working on a deal to get my hands on a small boat. And the nice thing about Central Florida is that there are areas that you can get Wi-Fi, or not Wi-Fi, but cell coverage. And so I'll be able to live stream from whatever I'm in. The only thing is that I've got to have the subscriber base there. I could always do it to Twitter, I suppose, and up to Facebook. And eventually, when I get to my 1,000 subs, I could do it on here. And so that's something to look forward to in the future. And so there's that. And for you latecomers, I am going to be doing an on-location live stream the 26th, the 27th, and possibly the 28th of May. And as I get closer to those dates, I'm going to give you exactly what's going on, where I'll be live streaming from, and what I'm going to be live streaming on. The 26th, more than likely, will be where I'm staying, because I'll have access to Wi-Fi. And the 27th is going to depend on whether or not I have my 1,000 subscribers by then. If I do not have my 1,000 subscribers, it's going to be a recorded event. And it may be live to Twitter, depending on the coverage over there. And then the 28th, it's just a couple things I'll be doing over there. And that's going to be, again, depending on the number of subscribers I have by the 28th, whether or not I'm going to do live or whether I'm going to do recorded. The live, of course, would always be done to Twitter. The recorded would be done up to YouTube. So I've got to test equipment out to see how that's going to work. Because I'm going to have to use one. If I have to go the recorded route, I've got to use one device for recording, which would be for YouTube, and the other device for live streaming to Twitter. So that's going to see what's going to have to do there. Now, what are we reading here? Oh, so they did take the funds down off of the GoFundMe. I kind of figured that would happen because their terms of service don't allow for the legal defense funds. She should have checked into that before she started that up. That ought to frost her Twinkie. No, Kathy Miracle created it, Alex, if it's the one I'm thinking of. I didn't think his son's got a ton of money. I thought he was paying the legal bills for Field. You know, maybe Field retained the lawyer and now he's got to come up with the money to pay for him. That's kind of weird. Oh, son of a follower, because I saw Kathy's name come up as being in charge of the fund. So there's that mistake to be corrected. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, these people ought to read the terms of service before they set these things up. Alright, well, I guess... Yeah, I imagine a bunch of people are going to try and create these things. Some of them may, take a quote-unquote commission off the funding for their own purposes, because, that ought to be interesting. You know, there is a way she could raise money for Phil, but I'm not going to give that away. It's a little riskier, but she could do it. Anybody could do it if they wanted to. There are ways you can do it and get around the rules with GoFundMe or Patreon for that matter. But that's for them to find out. Well, the thing they got to understand is it's the companies that set the rules, and they're not a courthouse where you can go in and appeal their actions. They say, no, you're not going to do it, period. And that's what happened. They said, no, you're not going to have legal defense. Because a long time ago, when I was sued, I was going to set up a GoFundMe to pay for my legal expenses for that little mess. And GoFundMe said, no, you can't do that. Even in a civil lawsuit, you can't do it. So I said, well, that's neat. Okay, I'll zip it. But no, they're too dumb to figure it out anyway. Well, GoFundMe's the one that'll take it down. You don't buy, they'll just take it down. Because I've seen it happen. There was somebody else that pulled that stunt, and GoFundMe took it right down. So, because I had, when I was starting to ask for, or giving an opportunity, I should say, to people who wanted to back my efforts to cover out-of-state court cases, I set it up. And I went through the TOS to make sure I was on the proper footing with them, because I didn't want to get into a situation where I'm taking people's money and I wasn't supposed to be. So, but because of the corona situation, I've suspended asking for the backing of the travels, because number one, I can't travel because of this restrictions in all these various courts, and second, people have better things to do with their money, like buying groceries and toilet paper, than paying for travel expenses right now. Yeah, well, if he did that, that's wire fraud. He can go to prison for that. Because if you go on social media and you say, I need the money for, saying, going on a trip to Denver, and you blow all that money on buying a new car or something, that's fraud by deceptive means. You can't do that. You have to, if you're going to go to Denver, you have to go to Denver, and you got to prove that you went to Denver, and that's what exactly. I'm going to itemize all my expenses. So, if I ever were able to get into that situation where I could afford to go on these trips, everybody would know where the money went. Because it's obvious. I got to take a plane up there. I got to rent a car. Got to get a hotel room, and I got to eat. And these things will be itemized. And I'm sure as hell I'm not going to go to Red Lobster and get lobster. I'll go to McDonald's and eat cheeseburgers or something. So, I'm not going to be like Preacher Dan and go flying around Alaska in a seaplane. But, it's very unlikely that's going to happen, because right now people are in a world of hurt. And, you don't take advantage of people that are in a world of hurt. So, I probably just, a lot of my plans, as far as going out of state, are basically out the window for right now. Fort Lauderdale, I can cover myself, because that's been pre-budgeted, so I'll be able to get down to Fort Lauderdale and do that. Because I got budgeted for several trips down there, so that's no problem. The only thing I need right now are subscribers. A long time ago, I got in a little bit of a hot water because of a memorial bank, so I kind of learned my lesson from that. You have to be really careful when you start saying that you're going to ask for money for certain causes. You got to be, number one, you got to make sure you're complying with the law, and number two, you got to keep good record keeping, so that because there's people out there just ready to pick up the phone and call the cops. And so I learned my lesson from that one. I'd like to know what that guy's doing standing in front of that flag myself. Well, that's the thing about these people that are part of these organizations. They don't realize that if they're going to seek donations saying that they're going to rescue children, they have to document all that. They have to say, okay, this is exactly where the money's going. X number of dollars for this, and this. They just can't suck that money in and say, yeah, we're doing it. They have to account for that. And this is the problem with the conspiracy theorist. He's asking for money based on his claim that he's part of some government agency, and that is wire fraud. And it's also impersonating a government official for the purposes of garnering funds or advantage. And those two felonies will eventually put him and those doing the same thing away for 10 to 20 years. Yeah, that'd be a thing. Sunglasses for the mole children. And last time I read, now we got pig people. Yeah, every time I turn around, it's another. We started out, I think we started out with fish people. We went to lizard people. We went to mole kids. Now we got pig people. I mean, we got, the Twilight Zone is going great guns this year. I dubbed 2019-2020 the year of the Great Conflagration, and boy, is it conflagrating. My word, some of the stuff that's coming out. It's beginning to think that conspiracy theories about colonies on Mars for child abuse and slaves is perfectly normal compared to this other garbage. It's like, wow. But, they got that thing. This one weird thing he's got an ET, and it's got a Winky the size of, the Golden Gate Bridge on there. I mean, god dang, that thing is long. So that's that's the latest thing out of the nut house. Is there are pig people. I wonder if the lizard people and the pig people get along, because lizard people eat meat. So so pig people might have trouble. These people are going to start eating each other. I mean, lizard people might eat fish, so the fish people will get eaten. I don't know what fish people eat. They eat worms. So if fish people eat worms, then there has to be worm people, so the fish people will have something to eat. So we're going to have to create worm people. Lizard people, we're going to have fly people, bug people. Then, of course, if you have frog people, they're going to compete with the lizard people. But they're reptiles, I think. Is frog a reptile? I don't know. The lizards are reptiles, so they don't. Nice thing about lizard people is maybe they'll eat all the mosquitoes. Where did I see? Yeah, we got hybrid things like people pigs is the latest nonsense out of the cookie corner. Hybrids, mixed genetics are being found. What was that? There was a movie made about a mad scientist on an island that was doing stuff like that. And I think like I had a big star in that. I can't think of it as Michael Douglas or somebody. I can't think of that. It was. My mind is going because I remember the movie. It was a blockbuster movie that was made, and it was based on a book. And the guy had all these weird, like dinosaurs and stuff on the island, and he had done genetic crossmarrying. It was really, really something. I think this is where this moron's getting his ideas from. Is he's seeing South Florida wildfire. It'd be about, depending on exactly where it is, would be anywhere from 120 to 150 miles from here. Now, we have our own wildfires to worry about. There was a wildfire over on the East Coast not too long ago, and that's about an hour from here. I'm an hour, more or less, from each coast, the east and west coast of Florida. And so we had wildfires over somewhere around Daytona or down along the beachway. But we're having something of a drought here. And when we get these droughts, these wildfires start out. Lightning can start one of these things in a heartbeat. And of course, all it takes is some idiot to throw a cigarette out the window. Or, no, it wasn't Jurassic Park. This was, the name of the movie was, had like the name of the doctor. It was a Doctor something, Mystery Island or whatever it was. It was made back in quite a long time ago. And it was basically an island, and this guy was fooling around, and he came up with all kinds of weird stuff. It was more contemporary animals. You know, like he had giant elephants and stuff like that. But Jurassic Park, that was more scientific, and you know, that came about because there are theories that if you were to get DNA from something encased in, I can't think of a mineral right now, but if you melted that mineral and there was DNA in the remnants, you could sit there and recreate dinosaurs and stuff like that, and that's what's the premise for The Island of Dr. Moreau is the movie I was thinking of. I got like a Commodore 64 in my head here. It takes a while, but it's The Island of Dr. Moreau is what I was thinking of. And that could be the precursor to Jurassic Park, because it's in the same premise. Doctor comes up with some way of recreating all these animals, make them big. They took small animals and made them big, like miniature elephants and stuff like that. It was kind of an interesting movie. Yeah, it is The Island of Dr. Moreau, and I think they made the original, and I think they did a remake. But it's Amber. That's correct. That's what it was. I should have known that, because that's the name of my damn dog. So, Amber came out of a rock. Spliced DNA out of a rock, right, Amber? No, that's Skippy. He's just Skippy. Right, no, Amber. That's why I should have remembered that, because of Amber. And another Pepsi bites the dust. And that takes care of the can. Oh, my goodness. Well, it's either they're watching the movies or whoever the hell this idiot Q is, because that's where they get all their ideas from, is Q. And so that's the only thing I can figure is they're watching Q. But so now we've got hybrids. Mike Pence was cloned. We got JFK Jr. is alive and well and out on a farm in Idaho or Iowa or wherever the hell he is. Interesting society. I don't know where they're keeping almost 100,000 kids that come out of these caves. I mean, there hasn't been anybody on Meet the Press yet to explain this one. Or even Fox. Fox doesn't even report this. Fox would be the one station you would think to be reporting on all this crap. But nothing. I got some dude in the car doing it. Yeah, actually be more like turd. Well, the thing of it is for years, there's always been people that questioned chiropractors. So this Dr. Good Vibes doesn't help with his stunt. He just makes people question him even more. Yeah, but that's the thing of it. It's like I said in my video today. It's a futile effort talking about certain conspiracy theorists, because it's for every person that you convert over to the truth, two more get sucked up in the lie. So it's just no point in it anymore. And I really have not cared about the conspiracy theory realm. I was only interested in the attacks against me by one or two of these individuals, and it's just I got into this once before with one stalker, and it ruined my live stream 10 years ago. And I looked and saw that it was in danger of ruining this one, so I said, enough already. I'm done paying attention to this one individual. I'm going to talk about things in general, and we're going to move on to other stuff. And this thing in May is going to be one of the things that I'm going to be talking about more often. And once you understand what it is, you're going to see more of it, because it's unique to Florida in most aspects, and this is something that's a little bit on the special side. So for those that might be interested, when I give my announcement on the 25th of May, you'll understand what's going on. And it's different only in the respect that I'm going to be doing a lot of mobile. I'll be live streaming while I'm mobile. I'll be live streaming from where my location is. I'll be live streaming or doing at least a recording stream of the event itself. And on the 28th, I'll be doing some live streaming and then be back here, maybe in time for a Murtathon on the 28th. So we'll see how that works out. There's all, the thing of it is, Golden, there's only so many times you can say the same thing over and over again before it gets old. And, it's been getting old. I've had people send me private messages saying that, it's costing you this, it's costing you that, and they're right. If I had been talking about the other subjects that I had intended on talking about, my subscriber base would probably be a lot higher. And at least, I would be in an easier setting. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start changing things around a little bit and get a little bit more mainstream. And the things, I'm going to be getting into science and technology a lot, and my gadgetries, that I collect a lot of things that I just like to fool around with and evaluate. And I do something called cross-utilization. I did it back when I did my live stream on the Casey Anthony cases. I will take a piece of technology and I'll figure out a way to cross-utilize it to use it for something else. And when I was live streaming in my live truck back then, I was not using professional cameras that broadcasters use that cost tens of thousands of dollars. I was using security cameras. There was an outfit called X10 that manufactured these little cameras, and some were the teeny tiny, it's the same thing they have now, but they were the teeny little cameras that you would put up to be security cameras. And I had one that did a pan and tilt and zoom. And for the technology of that time, it was a pretty advanced little camera. And it broadcast over the 2.5 gigahertz band, which was back in the days before Wi-Fi. And I would transmit the signal down to the live truck through my computer and out over the internet. And that's what I used in my live streams. And I was driving all over the place with the live truck covering these cases on site. And everything was fine and dandy as long as I was covering the Casey Anthony case or covering, for a brief period of time, the Haley Cummings case. But then I was getting slammed by trolls and people defaming me. And instead of concentrating on my live stream, I was battling with these people. And people got tired of it and left. And so I don't want to do the same thing here. So I don't want to get concentrating too much on the conspiracy theorist and his defamation and some of these newcomers that have come along. I would just rather forget it, because they're not going to accomplish anything. They're not going to go away. There's other people that have ignored them, and they go after them anyway. So there's no point in confronting them. Just ignore them, limit their exposure to the world, and move on. And that's what I'm doing. So, that was a decision I made. They didn't force me into it. Nobody forced me into it. I do take feedback from people, and I take their advice and work with it. And that's what I did here, because I recognized that I was falling into the same trap that I did in 2010. And, I'm not going to destroy my chat over a few people that would rather engage in gaslighting than just ignore the room or engage in sensible debate. And so I'm back in the land of grown-ups here. We're going to let the children go play in the sandbox. Yep, the fish people. I gotta love some of the things these conspiracy theorists come from. It kind of reminds me of yeah, that's kind of strange. I saw that, and I think, it's that Patriot flag or whatever they put up has the blue stripe, but that's for Blue Lives Matter. The conspiracy theorists have taken that flag over. That's a Blue Lives Matter flag. They came up with that, and they interpret it as something else, and they're completely wrong. They need to, these people do not do their homework. They sabotage things, and they turn it into their own little world of tin hat malarkey. So, well, it is what it is. But I'm hoping that the wolf pack out there will still continue to fight in my stead. Because like I said, I will link things that Dodger does, things that Rebecca does, and so on and so forth. But I'm not going to mention the individual's name in here directly. And I will not accept comments from these people. Because they don't deserve the attention. They have their own little world that they can bark their theories to their heart's content. And we're just going to move on and talk about grown-up things. Yeah, I love the fringe thing, and that people make something out of nothing. They apparently don't read why there's fringes on the flags. It's something that has been known for the beginning of time. That's just... No, the fringe does not mean we're under martial law. Yeah, I know that, LK, it's just the... Matter of fact, I'm going to bring up what I had on that. The gold fringe around the United States flag as displayed in all courts designates... no, that's not the right one. I'm sitting there almost read off a conspiracy theory. Who better than the American Legion? People don't believe in the American Legion, then we're all in trouble. But the American Legion... Records indicate that the fringe was first used on the flag as early as 1835. It was not until 1895 that it is officially added to the national flag for all regiments of the Army. For civilian use, the fringe is not required as an integral part of the flag, nor can its use be said to constitute an unauthorized addition to the design prescribed by statute. It is considered that the fringe is used as an honorable enrichment only through the United States military. So that's what the flag usually is for military. They put the gold fringes on there. Usually you see it in ceremonies and stuff like that. And these conspiracy theorists have bastardized it and used it for this idiot movement that they've got. Yeah, that thing came from an artist. I tracked down that picture a long time ago. Timmy does that. He misuses stuff. It's like the cake people. Oh shit, I mentioned his name. Sorry about that. Anyway, the conspiracy theorist goes around and finds things, mostly by artists, and puts them up there. The cake people thing came from an artist that made a cake of herself, and it was an art exhibit. The woman has weird taste in art, but that's what it was. And when he did the thing on people eating children, that came from another artist over in Europe, in Asia, in the Soviet breakaway countries. I don't think it was Russia itself, but it might have been. Her name is Mishta, and she's a well-known artist, and she makes food people. And she takes babies and she puts them in platters with food around them. It's grotesque, but people don't eat the kid. It's just a work of art. So, but yeah, Bishani's the one that did the cake people, I believe. But that's what he does. He takes stuff from artists and he turns it into this weird bullshit. And these people eat it up. You know, because they believe in that stuff anyway. And I remember back in the days of Trent and Duckett, there was this thing going around about satanic ritual abuse, and somebody thought that Trent and Duckett had been inducted into this thing, and there was a admin over there on Ustream that was a big advocate of the satanic ritual abuse thing. And that woman was rather interesting, but she's disappeared off the internet. I haven't seen her in years. But she was responsible for catching one of the biggest stalkers in the history of California. The woman was going after Steven Spielberg. Went after that girl that was the star of what the hell was the name of that? But she used to see dead people or something like that. It was Medium, I think the name of the show was. But there was all. But they caught her stalking these people, and she got thrown in the slammer, and she can't be on the internet anymore and stuff like that. It was really weird because she was a psychiatrist. Devil's food cake. That would be good. Oh yeah, it's funny. Yeah, and I debunked that one, and they still, every once in a while, it pops up. I had a hell of a time tracking that down because some of the conspiracy theorists had that all over the place. And every day there's a new conspiracy theory that comes along, and I sit there and I have to say no. And there's people in here that actually believe some of these conspiracy theories, and I just sit there and say, what? People, please. But, and I don't argue with people. Because, if they want to believe this stuff, then that's nothing I can do about it. It's just overwhelming what people believe. And I track this stuff down, and I say, oh, another conspiracy. That's not true. And I do multiple things. I'm not one of these people that go on CNN and believe everything CNN does. I track and trace. And that's what everybody has to do. And if they track and trace, they're going to find out all these conspiracy theories are not true. Virtually all of them. And the one that really got me was this is the one I was just talking about, is this thing where by wearing these medical grade face masks, you're going to get carbon monoxide poisoning. And if you had taken science in school, you would realize that the carbon monoxide molecules are smaller than the coronavirus molecules, or the virus itself, actually. And so when you breathe out, the carbon monoxide is going to go through the mask, either carbon monoxide, dioxide, either one. But it's going to go through the mask. It's not going to be held up there. You're not going to get epoxy or whatever it is from the mask. It dissipates, and you bring in oxygen. And, and people need to use this logic. If you go in for surgery, heart surgery, complicated surgery, that's not one of these things where they yank your chest open, do what they need to do in there, and close you up in the space of 15 minutes. They're usually either a half or a whole day. These people are doing this stuff for a long time, and they're wearing these masks. Now, if it was true what these conspiracy theorists are saying, then usually about a half an hour, 45 minutes into the operation, the doctor would faint and fall on the floor. and they'd have to bring in another doctor. And so they'd be going through 8 doctors because of these masks. And that just ain't happening. So, you know, you got to use common sense when analyzing some of these theories and realizing that, you know, they're ridiculous. We have company, folks. Come on up here. Say hi, everybody. The baby wolf. Yeah, say hi to Whoopi. There's Whoopi. Say hi to Whoopi. She's looking at Whoopi. Yeah, now she's looking at me. Yeah. Yeah, she heard me talking about Whoopi earlier. Well, we finally got a face for her. Usually she's looking off into the sunset. There's her moment. Hey, there you go, girl. There you go. Good girl. Yeah, she's a wolf, man. She's a mascot for Whoopi. All right, go. Blah. She always leaves half of herself behind. That's the problem with wearing a black shirt. Yeah, I know. You stand here at my feet. She wants to back up again. Go. Where's mommy? Itch some fleas or something. Yeah. This dog is a spoiled brat. Yeah. Amber's my little hot dog. Yeah. She's positive proof there are dog people. Yeah, so that'll be the next time the conspiracy. We got dog people. Bert had a dog people on his show. So there's dog people. Half expect that one. Surprised we haven't had cat people yet. Cats, man, they're stubborn little buggers. Remember us. Bubba was a stubborn old man. That cat, Jesus. Who's this? Yeah, that dog is the most spoiled thing in the world. I swear. It's a good little dog. A good watchdog. Anybody so much as moving the wrong direction, she starts barking her head off. Yeah, that's a funny thing. She knows when it's time to go to bed. I'll be in my chair, and I'll put the keyboard up on the side table, and all of a sudden she just lets loose because she knows I'm moving. Oh, that flag doesn't have any fringes on it. It's just the Blue Lives Matter flag. Yeah, tell me about it. Yeah, good old Winnie. I remember Winnie, that dog. Ever tried to do an interview with Winnie? That's an experience. She's my good buddy. I miss Winnie. Yeah. Little birdies are smart. Yeah, I love that dog. She's a little sweetie. Give her a pet for me. Tell her I said hello. Spitz mix. Yeah, Amber's not a pure dachshund. She's a mix, and I'm beginning to think she's a mix with a Cocker Spaniel. She's a long-haired dachshund mixed with a Cocker Spaniel. Of course, her hair's not so long anymore, but I just happened to, one time shortly after we got Amber, I saw a Cocker Spaniel, and I said, I bet you that's where she came from. Somebody was a Spaniel. There you are. Let's see, we're number one here, so let's see what happens. Whoops. Where are you going? Get up there. You guys want to watch that video, here's the link to it. Thought that was kind of funny. It's copyrighted, so I can't bring it in. Alright, you go take the doggies out. Get them their exercise. Hey, have a good night. Thanks for coming in. Night, Dodger. Or no. Dodger's still here. Never mind. Cats are weird. Cats be weird creatures. You never know what they're gonna do. Yeah, I saw that today, and that was funny as hell. Yeah, Dodger, you're running about the same amount of time I do when I create my videos. It takes the longer ones. Some of the long ones I used to take me half the day because I was doing them on my smartphone. The ones on the computer that I do now, they're not so bad, but they, depending on how elaborate I decide to make the videos, they can take 4 to 5 hours as well. So that's why I don't make a lot of them yet. Yeah, because you have to find the right music. My thing is I've got to use the music that comes with the software, so I get around copyright restrictions. And on my Power Director one, I used one song in there, and it turned out the thing was a copyright. I got hit with a strike on it. YouTube said they're not going to do a strike on it. They just can't they can't monetize the video. But since I'm not monetized anyway, it didn't make any difference. But I said, well, I'm not using that source anymore. So that's, it's a question of where you're going to get music. Either you're going to get music that you can use, or you just won't use music at all. So I've been lucky. I've stumbled onto a database where I've got royalty-free music that I don't have to pay for. It comes with the software, and so I can go back to using it again. So Sharp, that'd be a question to answer. I don't know what the relationship between wolves and werewolves are. If they coexist or one eats the other one. Ooh, sorry, folks. Whoops. Oh, that's weird. Now all of a sudden my preview window's open. Alright, that's not gonna work. I gotta try and get Wolfie back. We're going through this again. I thought I had this worked out. And now we'll play the bouncing game with Alex. Alright. Okay. Yeah, I gotta try and figure out how to get Wolfie back. Here, Wolfie. There's Whoopi. Alright, and then we'll get my overlay. I'm gonna kill myself with the overlay again. Huh. Well, I'll tell you, this is the thing. I gotta start writing numbers down on these cameras numbers so I know what I'm doing. Okay, Wolfie, we'll put you over there. Well, we got Wolfie back. Alright, we're back to normal. Send Alex home. Well, that's the thing, you know. You gotta find what works. Because you guys are a piggy bunch, so I gotta keep you happy. Oh, green screen does wonders for milk. This is my black milk. See, I got invisible milk. It's because the cup is green. Green screen can be a little weird. Alright, Roger, let me know when you get it, or Dodger, let us know when you get it done. We're anxiously awaiting. Love those videos. Keep them coming. Yeah, that sounds like a plan. Yeah, well, I'll be looking for it, Dodger. Good night, Dodger. Okay, things are winding down a little bit. I might shut down at 11:30 here. Can't drag the show out too much when you got a lot of what we call dead air. As time goes on and I learn the software a little better, I'll probably start having more content in stores that I can put up. There's one more thing I got to learn how to do on the software, and that's going to make it easier to bring videos into the room, and so I'll be working on that. Pre-recorded, it's a little easier to do it, but when you have something live, it has a tendency to be a little bit harder, so I'm going to work on stuff and see what I can do. Because on the other software, I was able to bring Dodger's videos in, but I had to knock the audio off because he uses copyrighted music, and his channel's different than mine to where he can get away with that, but I can't get away with it here. So I have to be a little bit more careful with what I put on the air. So I'm just going to check one more. Yeah, get over there. One more thing while I'm here. Okay, for some reason that didn't come up, so do it this way. That's the one thing I didn't set up. I must have bookmarked that in Chrome. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do. Okay, looks like things are starting to drop off a little bit, but you all have a good night. Live long and prosper and all that. I'm just doing a little bit of final setting up here. So anyway, we are beginning to wind down on tonight's live stream. Again, anybody who may not have subscribed, please do so. I'm trying to get to at least 1,000 people as quickly as possible. I have a live event coming up towards the end of May, and I would like to try and get the subscriber count up so I can do it remotely, and it would be done mobile. And in order for me to do it here on YouTube, I have to have at least 1,000 to do it remotely. Now I can do it where I have Wi-Fi access, so that'll help, but if I can get it to where I can live stream through the phone, that would be that much better. So any help in that department would be greatly appreciated. And then also be sure to hit the notifications so that when I put a video up or I go on the air, you'll be notified quickly. I do put up notifications to Twitter when I'm ready to go on the air, and sometimes over on Facebook. But if you hit the notifications here on YouTube, you'll get it through your subscription, and then you'll be able to sit here and sleep through my webcast. So, as we tick down to the last minute, I will be here again tomorrow night, Saturday, May 16th, and it will more than likely be once again at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern. We will run until at least 11 o'clock, and if there's enough people in here, we go to 12. So I see people are driving like flies, even though I got flies flying around. And so I will get you all a good night. This is William K. Murtaugh, Mert Witness 1. Y'all have a good one.